1.19. We got first frog lights. Let's show you how to make them. You can find frogs in mangrove swamps. Then if you get a magma cube, the frog will actually eat one of these little guys in a second. Yep, there you go. You know, poop out a little frog light. There's a couple different colors of frogs, and each different color produces a different frog light, just like that. They do it all in the same way. So there's 3 different colors. Cool. Okay, next we'll show off how to breed them. You just take some slime balls, and you can breed 2 of them together, just like any other mob. Then they'll produce eggs in the water nearby. There we go. And they'll hatch into these little tadpoles. You can take a water bucket, and you can pick them up and take them to different places. Pretty cool. Next is the mangrove swamp trees, the mangrove trees. Although they can spawn in this large formation or this kind of little formation. Here's another large one. They spawn with little roots. They got leaves. They're usually this green color, but they're just brown right now. And then they'll have these propagules that actually come off of it, and you can plant those on dirt. And as you saw right there, these grow into full trees. Pretty easy to use. You can also plant them inside of water, which is cool. You can grow them in an ocean. Okay, so the wood is a new kind of red color, which is cool. And they got these different kind of doors. You can see the trapdoors, the different stuff here. Leaves, logs, chipped logs, the roots, and then these muddy mangrove roots, which you can craft, and you can also find in mud, and they are directional as well. I wanted to show off the different colors, because I never see these in other videos. The best colors for most readable, if you're not colorblind, the best ones are lime, cyan, pink, and dark gray if you use glow signs at the bottom here. But if you just use non-glow signs, your best bet is actually no color at all, or blue. So that versus that, those are probably the most readable colors from the furthest away. All right. Now you can use these cool mangrove trapdoors to make a kind of a, see the eyes are following you no matter where you go. It's a cool effect. It makes fun little things like this possible. You can now waterlog leaves. So if you're in an underwater base, you can waterlog leaves. Very cool. Here are new mud blocks. These spawn everywhere inside mangrove biomes. You get a ton of them. And if you want to craft them, you actually just put a piece of dirt in the world, and you right-click with the water bottle, and it consumes the water and makes a mud block. So those are renewable resources. To craft a packed mud, just take 1 wheat. Real easy. 1 wheat, 1 mud makes 1 packed mud. Then they have bricks in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and this is kind of what the new blocks look like at a little house. Cool. Now you can take this mud and actually make clay out of it. If you put the mud block above a dripstone block and pointed dripstone, it'll make clay. It's not that fast. I have a random tick speed increased, but it will make clay. So now clay is renewable. The special structures down there, we'll go over that later. But here's the blocks that are going to be inside of it. This is a Skulk catalyst, and you kill a mob nearby, it'll get charged up. And if you kill it on top of a block, it'll actually convert what would have been its XP into these Skulk blocks. So when you break these blocks, they drop XP. So this is a way of storing XP in block form, which we've never had before. If you use Silk Touch, you can actually pick these blocks up, and they will destroy like stone, dirt, grass, things like that. All right, so now we have Skulk blocks here. You can see this carpet is right here, because if you walk on carpet, these blocks cannot detect you. But watch, as soon as we step, there we go. As soon as we step off of the carpet, we'll start getting detected by these. See those little sound waves are getting pulsed there? If you hold shift, you don't get detected at all by these things. If you have a comparator, you can make it so it detects a type of action rather than the distance. So like this, a player walking is that much power, just 1. But a creeper is worth that much. And if it dies, a mob dying is worth that much redstone strength. So you can put up some cool contraptions. This is a Skulk Shrieker. It applies an effect to you when it shrieks. It's not doing it right now because I have that turned off. Darkness. So when it happens, the whole world gets dark, the screen flashes dark, and it's pretty scary when you're underground and you don't have light. These are what the Skulk blocks kind of look like by themselves if you want to look, and these are the Skulk veins as well. Here we got goats. Now they can spawn with 1 or 2 horns. Now if these guys were to hit a naturally generated tree, like in a ram attack, a naturally generated tree or a naturally generated stone, naturally generated ore, they will drop one of their horns will actually pop off their head and drop as one of these. These are goat horns. You can use them. They kind of sound like pillager horns. Well, they kind of are. There's a couple different types. You can find these ones in pillager outposts, and regular goats, when they hit a naturally generated block, they will drop it off their head. And then these are only obtainable when you have a screaming goat, which is a special type of goat. And when that screaming goat rams a tree, a naturally generated tree, it'll drop one of these 4, and they have just different sounds. When you're down in the deep dark, there's a couple different new items you can find. Echo shards are the main thing that you're looking for down there. That's kind of the loot item. Now, if you craft 4 of those around a regular compass, you get a recovery compass that shows you where your last death was. My last death was right there. See, there's a marker. And then you can also craft 9 of them into this new music disc, which is creepy. So you can listen to that on your own if you'd like to. It's too long though. Right, and there's a new leggings enchantment. It's called Swift Sneak. Up to level 3, put it on your leggings. This is normal shifting speed. And then you put them on your leggings, you're really fast. These allays are pretty cool. You can find these in like villager outposts. So if you give them like say an allay spawn egg and there's some on the ground, they will look for that item for you, pick it up, and throw it back to you eventually. There you go. Now if you give them that item and then you hit a note block, they'll go to the note block. Get them to pick up items and throw them on there. You can put like a hopper minecart nearby and they can pick up the item. It'll follow you around if it has an item in its hand, but if it doesn't have an item in its hand, it'll just stay there. That's kind of how you tame them. So here is the Warden. It does a lot of damage. You shouldn't fight this guy. He has too much health, more health than a wither. And he has a ranged attack as well. Doesn't die in lava, doesn't die in water, doesn't burn in sunlight, is not an undead creature, he can't use smiting. So yeah, he's really dangerous. But you can avoid him. As long as you're shifting around him, he can't actually hit you. He can smell you, so don't get too close. But as long as you're just shifting around and not making any noise, not breaking blocks, he won't get angry. But when he gets angry, he's faster than the player, so he can outrun you. So, you know, be careful. He only drops a Skulk catalyst when he dies, so he's not actually worth killing. So the way they spawn is if you find one of these little spots here in the deep dark, one of these guys. If you make too much noise around it, it'll actually summon a Warden. If there's a bunch of mobs nearby, there we go. The game almost crashed there. He'll come out of the ground, yeah, and they're actually infinite. So let's say you killed him, they'll just spawn another one. Do not fight the Wardens, it's not worth it. See, another one already spawned. Be careful. There's some rare things in here, like skeleton skulls. The loot, oh, you can get disc fragments. Okay, they're not echo shards. You need 9 of these disc fragments. Lots of loot, diamond pants, lots of enchanted books. Now there is one more thing, and it's this redstone area. If you walk up to the kind of the center of it at the very front, you can eat some food. So if we just eat right in here. Yep, the door opened. And there's some cool redstone that Mojang is trying to show us. But there's lots of like redstone contraptions in here. Some sticky pistons, which is cool. Some pistons. Lots of cool stuff. So yeah, there's quite a bit in 1.19. Not as much as I'd like, but it's a pretty big update, to be honest. And we're checking out. All right, have fun, guys.